thank you for the nice introduction, and it's a pleasure to participate in this meeting with you all. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the work that we've done in embedded education at the Banco Solidario. So in 2011, I was hired as the financial education manager to design and develop a program for the bank, and the bank decided to invest in financial education as a key component of their corporate social responsibility strategy. So we started out this work by conducting a nationwide survey of bank clients of their financial capability in order to assess their knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors surrounding several topics related to financial education. One of the things that came through clearly in the survey is a need for education on microinsurance. The survey results showed that the majority of bank clients were unaware that they had microinsurance products as part of their loan, bundled with their loan, that they were unaware of what the products were for, and that the majority of the clients also weren't aware of how they could file a claim to use their insurance. So given these results, we decided to hire MFO to help us to develop a module on microinsurance, and together we worked on developing a series of tools for the bank's frontline staff. So we developed a series of financial dialogues, which are just short scripts that frontline staff could apply in conversation with clients throughout the life of their loan. We developed didactic tools, brochures, a flipbook that they could use in their conversation with clients, and we also developed a training program for frontline staff for the use of the module. We implemented these tools through training, so I ended up training over 450 frontline staff on the use of these tools. And along the way, one of the things that we learned is that it was important for us to, as part of the training, to reinforce the frontline staff's technical knowledge of the products, the microinsurance products that they were commercializing to clients. After the trainings, we implemented the module nationwide with frontline staff in branches all across Ecuador, and we studied the results of the implementation. How? What we did is we did pre and post surveys. So with a sample of clients, we issued a survey to clients before and after their intervention with their loan officer to look at what the impact was of implementing the module. So what we experienced as a result of the implementation, the first round, we saw changes in attitudes in the clients. In the post-survey, in a question that we asked the clients about what strategies would they use to cover an unexpected expense, clients reported there was a decrease in reported use of credit to cover unexpected expenses and an increase in reported use of insurance to cover those expenses. We saw some changes in knowledge, most importantly for the bank, that clients now knew that they had microinsurance products, that they knew what the credit life insurance product was for. In terms of behaviors, over time we saw an increase in clients' customer calls to the insurance carrier's customer service center, where they could ask questions about their products. Also, we saw an increased number of claims on some of the insurance products. And finally, we saw appreciation from the client to the bank. They commented that they really liked what the loan officer described to them, and that they wish that they could receive more information in this regard from the loan officer. So those were some of the initial results, but we also had some unexpected or unintended results that came out of our first experience in embedded education at the bank. One is improvements in customer loyalty. So thanks to this module, loan officers were able to keep customers that previously were leaving the bank because of confusion surrounding the microinsurance products. And thanks to this model, we were able to reinforce the technical knowledge of the staff. And that was important because before, loan officers simply would avoid talking about microinsurance products with clients because they didn't understand the product, and so it was easier for them just not to explain it. And after this training, they felt a lot more comfortable explaining it to clients, and this in turn helped to ensure greater customer loyalty. The module helps, or the embedded education model helped us to provide a different kind of training to the staff. So in my experience in many financial institutions, there's a focus on training frontline staff in terms of the technical aspects of products and services, and maybe in customer service. But there is rarely training given to frontline staff in terms of how they actually communicate with the client and really putting themselves in the shoes of the client per se. And I would say that in our experience using embedded education, that's what really that's what you're really bringing to a financial institution through this module. So after the initial experience that we had in microinsurance education, it was a really positive experience for the bank. And since then, they've incorporated the use of the tools as part of their day-to-day operations. The tools have been adapted and changed over time. Given the positive results of the first module, we then went on to implement a module on over-indebtedness, which we did last year, and this year we implemented a module on the use of credit cards with clients. I think that finally, what does this model, what does embedded education allow you to do differently as opposed to a traditional approach to financial education? One of the best things about it is that it allows you to get to the client where the client comes to you. So instead of sort of push strategy, what you're doing is you're taking advantage of the touch points that you already have with the client and building in education into part of the process. And then this in turn helps to force your frontline staff to change their role from salesperson to someone who provides guidance to the client, which has a huge added value in terms of customer experience. Second, I think that the key benefit of this model as opposed to traditional approaches to education is that it also has the secondary important impact on your staff. One of the key things that I learned in implementing this is that the staff themselves are another key audience for the education, and that through this process, there's no better way to learn about something than to teach it, and so they perhaps are the ones that benefit the most through the embedded education model, which is also a huge benefit for a financial institution.